Welcome to Doze and Discover. Tonight, we'll explore a collection of unusual phobias you may have never heard of. Each one is real, and each has a story behind it. As you listen, allow your mind to wander, relax, and drift towards sleep. 1. Ablutophobia, fear of bathing. Ablutophobia is the fear of bathing or washing. Imagine being a child trembling at the thought of stepping into a bathtub. For some, this fear develops after a frightening experience with water. The sound of rushing water and the idea of soap touching their skin can trigger racing thoughts. For those with ablutophobia, a simple shower can feel like facing danger itself. 2. Compunophobia, fear of buttons. Compunophobia is the fear of buttons. One boy refused to wear his school uniform because the sight of buttons filled him with panic. Psychologists believed he once swallowed a button as a toddler, leaving a lasting fear. Even the sound of buttons clicking together became unbearable. For him, shirts weren't just clothing, they were obstacles to overcome. 3. Xanthophobia, fear of the color yellow. Xanthophobia is the fear of the color yellow. Bright sunshine, bananas, or even flowers in bloom can bring on anxiety. Some researchers believe it stems from the way yellow has been linked to warnings, sickness, or betrayal throughout history. While most of us see yellow as joyful, for someone with this phobia, the color feels like a constant threat. 4. Globophobia, fear of balloons. Globophobia is the fear of balloons, often triggered by the possibility they might suddenly pop. One woman described her birthday parties as nightmares, where the sound of balloons bursting left her shaken. Even as an adult, she avoided party stores entirely. To her, balloons weren't symbols of celebration, they were symbols of fear. 5. Trypophobia, fear of small holes. Trypophobia is triggered by clusters of small holes, such as honeycombs or lotus seed pods. One man explained that even looking at a sponge made his skin crawl. Scientists believe this fear may come from an evolutionary instinct, since dangerous plants and animals often display similar patterns. For millions of people, these simple shapes can be deeply unsettling. 6. Nomophobia, fear of being without a phone. Nomophobia is the fear of being without a cell phone or signal. In one case, a teenager felt lightheaded and sweaty whenever his phone battery dropped too low. This phobia reflects how deeply technology has become tied to our sense of security. For those with nomophobia, a dead battery feels like being completely cut off from the world. 7. Omphallophobia, fear of belly buttons. Omphallophobia is the fear of belly buttons. Some people avoid touching their own or even seeing others. A woman once explained she couldn't wear swimsuits because navels made her panic. Experts believe the fear sometimes comes from early medical experiences or injuries around the stomach, leaving behind a lasting anxiety. 8. Pogonophobia, fear of beards. Pogonophobia is the fear of beards. One child developed it after being frightened by a man in a Santa costume. For some, beards feel unclean or untrustworthy. Even a casual handshake can trigger discomfort if the other person has facial hair. What many see as a simple style choice becomes, for others, a genuine source of fear. 9. Coulrophobia, fear of clowns. Coulrophobia is the fear of clowns, one of the most recognized phobias in the world. Many trace it back to childhood parties or circus visits, where exaggerated makeup and unpredictable behavior caused lasting terror. Psychologists note that clowns hide their true expressions, making them difficult to read. Movies and media have only reinforced this fear over time. 10. Cherophobia, fear of happiness. Cherophobia is the fear of happiness. People with this phobia avoid joyful events, believing that good times will always be followed by tragedy. One woman explained she avoided birthday parties, convinced laughter was tempting fate. For her, even smiling felt dangerous. Cherophobia shows how past trauma can transform joy into fear. Outro. These are just 10 of the many unusual phobias that exist. Each reveals how unique the human mind can be and how our experiences shape our fears. As you rest, remember that even the strangest stories can be reminders of how complex and fascinating people truly are.